Hi Hadeel, my name's Daphne, one of the essay correctors here at IELTSpodcast.com. Great to be working with you on your corrections. I gather you are after a band 8. Help, I have to say it is so rare, I hardly ever see band 8s. But let's go for it. Can you just tell me next time you write to me what you've done before, what you've scored before and why you need your band 8? That would just give me a little bit of context, which would be really helpful. So here we go. Some people think schools have to be more entertaining, while others think their sole purpose is to educate. Which do you agree with? So while some educators, I really like that, immediately starting with a good noun, are pushing for learning through playing methodology, others are opposing such approach, insisting that schools are educational institutions, not entertainment centres. Okay, while some educators are pushing for learning through, you'd have to say the, if you were using it as a methodology, you'd have to say the learning because you're being specific. The learning through playing methodology. And I wouldn't normally use much sort of extra punctuation, but I'd almost put it like this because it isn't a thing, but you're talking about it as if it were a thing. Others oppose. Watch out, present continuous. You don't need that. Here it's okay. Others oppose such an approach. So watch out on articles. Such an approach, insisting that schools are educational institutions, not entertainment centres. Okay, good. I believe that integrating play-based activities into the school curriculum. Watch out on articles, they are very difficult, but if you make more than 2 mistakes, you will be very severely punished by the examiner. The school curriculum is advantageous in numerous ways and does not interfere with the learning goals of education, but rather improves it dramatically. Okay, really nice start. I love that. Well done. One of the most evident benefits of using the entertaining approach. Now, there is no such thing as this, so you are going to have to tell the examiner what you mean. So instead of that, I would say incorporating activities such as sport and drama into the school day. Okay, is that. Okay, so there is no entertaining approach. So instead of using, and I want you to give me an example here. So by saying sport and drama, now I've got an idea of what you might mean by entertainment. Is that it hugely enhances students' learning outcomes. Okay, we don't know that for a fact, so I would just be more tentative in my language. I would say it could significantly, I don't like hugely, enhance our learning outcomes. Okay, so this use of the modal verbs, these could, might, may, for weak suggestion and possibility are really useful. When students are directed to complete a task that has both educational and amusing elements, they frequently, so same as the using the could, perform better. We don't know this for a fact that they always do it, so we are more tentative with our language. So this is useful. So frequently, often, sometimes, I perform better and finish the task. I would, again, more tentative, more quickly and accurately, because you're comparing it to if they didn't have that entertainment. This is because they, we don't use get, a bit informal. They may become or may be more engaged, and this entertainment is what makes them focused and determined to achieve the goal of the given activity. Okay, what makes them focused? Okay, you could change that round and you say what increases focus and determination. Make those into nouns instead. What increases focus and determination, or the focus and determination rather, to achieve the goal. Okay, rather than using them, so you change those into nouns. Nouns are super useful in academic writing. Games, for instance, have been proven, watch out, plural, games, in various learning contexts to be a powerful teaching technique. I wouldn't repeat teach there. To excite or to stimulate, something like that. Take, for example, bingo. Just use simply for example. Don't use take, for example. That's too informal. And bingo and tongue twisters not they make. You don't need a subject there because these are the subjects. So make students become more involved, and motivate them to win the game as fast and you'd have to go, as fast and as correctly. You do need to repeat the as here. As fast and as correctly as they could. Okay, nice. And just some little things coming up on the accuracy of the grammar, okay? Watch out there. But otherwise, very nice paragraph, well argued, very neat and tidy. What I don't really like, if I'm honest, is this 5-paragraph structure. I would rather, you're giving me 3 points here, which is okay, but I would rather you organised it in a 2-paragraph way. I think that's clearer if you're a reader. All right, let's read on, okay? Another great impact of this method is that it creates a collaborative atmosphere for learners to share and learn from each other, okay? Many fun activities. You don't need that. You could cut that and just put a comma. Used by teachers all around the world, comma, are group-based activities, which make them ideal for collaborative learning. Good. Working together to accomplish a certain goal helps, here I put often. This is lovely writing. You're doing really, really well. Often helps people build stronger connections with each other and aids, helps, aids, same verb pattern here, aids, it can't aid for, it can aid, minimize, aid to minimize, no, I wouldn't use aid actually, sorry, help to minimize, or aid in minimizing, you could have. Minimizing individual differences where high achievers assist, they're struggling. Yeah, very nice. Okay, good. In addition to that, making the learning process a fun experience promotes learners' creativity. Fun exercises force learners to think outside the box since they're encouraged to think freely to solve a problem without being restricted by prescribed rules. Good. For instance, CE, if students are, when, you need a comma after that. If you're using when and if students are asked to recycle materials in their houses, they come up with, you only use would if it's a second conditional. You're using a first conditional here. When they're asked, they come up, in fact, you're using a 0 conditional, present tense. When, if asked, they come up with, so definitely not would, with amazing projects. Some build wonderful pieces of art, such as a beautiful bouquet. Fantastic. Okay, so we're talking about lots of creativity. What you're not doing at all is you must address this side of the question. So in order to score highly on task achievement, you need to mention that. You can't ignore it. I know you obviously agree with this, but you can't ignore that. You need somewhere a kind of concession sentence, and logically it should go here at the beginning of your second paragraph. Ben talks to you about this in the next videos. So although there is widespread agreement that learning, that academic results are needed to access universities and high-level jobs. Yeah, so although that is actually very important, and then you go on to continue talking about your ideas for more of an entertaining classroom. Okay, so that idea of concession is very, very important in that structure. Teaching through games should be adopted by all schools. Okay, and here I would repeat your opinion because it's an opinion essay, so have your opinion at the beginning and have your opinion again at the end. But that is a really, really nice essay. Great start there. Lots of really positive things. I like the style of your writing, lots of lovely language in there. Watch out for a few little grammar mistakes, which we will keep on working on. But essentially, very, very good essay. That's lovely. Well done. So, doing an enjoyable activity with a child can develop better skills and more creativity than reading. To what extent do you agree? Okay. Although reading is a vital exercise for the brain development, here you don't need the article because you're talking brain development in general. But I think you need to put in children or youngsters. because this is specifically children we're talking about in this essay, and not just school. It's nonetheless useful to teach them practically. If you don't have children, then I don't know who them is. So you need to have, if I underline that, you need to see how you need to have something, otherwise I don't know who you mean by them, and elevate their levels of creativity. I strongly believe playing is more beneficial for youngsters in terms of skills acquisition. Good, nice. First of all, reading is an activity that helps people. So here, be more specific for the young ones, acquire knowledge but not real life skills. Younger people, particularly children, need to learn various life skills, so I'd avoid repeating that rather than expand their knowledge. Okay, I think they need both, but okay. During childhood, no matter how much they read or are read to, they can only comprehend a little knowledge. Good point. Comprehend little information suitable for their age as their cognition is developing. Good. On the other hand, now watch out here. Here you've got first of all, but you haven't got secondly. So if you're going to use first of all, it kind of implies on the signalling that you're going to take me into secondly, kind of thing. And also here you've got on the other hand, but I haven't got on the one hand. So you need to balance that as well. They learn by doing and practicing their acquired skills, and the more entertaining the activity, the more they learn. Excellent. So again here, rather than take, just go for instance. The children who learn to maintain their balance, rather than to ride, you want to have while riding. Okay. While riding a two-wheel bike. Link this sentence together. It's quite a short sentence, but then you've got a very, very long one. Rather than they do not learn, I would put these techniques are not acquired. So get into a passive rather than they do not learn. So such techniques are not acquired by. So if you've got a passive in there that's showing a bit more kind of variety on the grammar, but rather hop on their bikes with the help and coaching of some adults until they build up confidence and balancing skills. Okay, lovely, well done. Also, this kind of sentence, I think you can upgrade that. I would go additionally rather than also. Success is usually achieved achieved with a sense of fun or with a sense of challenge, rather than they and they. To get it more abstract, use the big nouns rather than using the pronouns. A child who's trying to ride a bike with I don't think you need that. I think it's just getting a bit too long. I think we understand the example. That's fine. Yeah. So furthermore, playing exercises. Playful exercises, promote learning creativity. Yes, let's tell me again, including team sports. What kind of thing are we talking about here? Give me an idea. Promote children's, you don't need you're talking children in general, creativity by giving them the opportunity to explore and try new things. Rather than because, never start a sentence with because, but you could have while playing or in playing. So in playing or while playing, they can think freely and come up with their own ways. Really nice. During their tasks, they explore and experiment the possible solutions without being told what to do. Okay, you could equally go exploration and experiment are dominating. So think how you could do that without always having they all the time. I mean, it's not a problem, but I've got quite a lot of they all the way, and there are other ways to go round that, especially because you're aiming for such a high band score. For example, if children are asked to simply draw a picture, each one of them are asked to draw a picture. Each one of them would create. Watch out on the conditionals. You see, you'd have to have, if children here were asked, they would create. So that conditional doesn't match up. So check out your conditionals, because the first one didn't quite match up either. So here, you'd have to have, if children were asked, that's your second conditional. If they were asked, each one of them would create. If they are asked, each one of them will create. What you want, so that for me, the second conditional works better here. Okay, past simple and then would. Okay, good to include it. Make sure we get it right there. In conclusion, so I believe that, and it says to what extent. So you have to have, I strongly believe, that's to do with the task achievement. You need to make sure you address that element. Okay, it's beneficial to help them learn. Yeah, this really should be minimized, and reading maximized. Okay, during early childhood. Okay, well argued, very interesting. I mean, you're writing extremely well, very high level, really, really good to read those. I hope you find the corrections helpful. Make a note of the mistakes, and then look forward to reading your next ones. Well done.